Hey everybody, Matt here. Today we are going to have a discussion on our form of government here in the U.S. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video is because, for one, it's a video I've been wanting to do for a while, but also I had a really good conversation on Blog TV last night that really made me want to go ahead and make this video. I'm making this video also because I think a lot of people don't really understand our form of government in the United States, as far as, hey, people ask questions like, well, people talk about states' rights. Does that mean the states can tell the federal government what to do, or can they tell the individuals what to do? Can the federal government tell, the states what they can and can't do? And, what about the individual? Can the federal government, rule and regulate every portion of the individual's life? And, there's a lot of questions going back and forth. And honestly, a lot of people, if you haven't done the research, a lot of people don't truly understand our form of government here in the United States. So I like to use this example of a pyramid divided into three portions, and obviously you can see here in these three portions we've got the federal government, state government, and the individual. Now let's just kind of jump right in and go into the explanation of what this pyramid means. At the top of the pyramid you have the individual. This is how our country was founded, okay? The individual was at the top. They were the most important. They were there to gain the maximum amount of freedom and liberty. That's what the founders wanted for us. Freedom and liberty, okay? You got to remember, they just come from a very oppressive and tyrannical government that put the individual at the bottom of the totem pole, okay? That restricted freedoms and liberties, and they wanted the exact opposite of that. Next down, you've got the state. Now the state is bigger than the individual, but it's one step down in importance, okay? Because remember, we are a government of the people, by the people, for the people, okay? So the state is not as important as the individual. But it's the next step down because it's basically the closest to home, okay? It's where the individual goes to vote for congressmen and senators and sheriffs and city commissioners and governors and mayors, okay? It is within your state. State government is the next step down on the totem pole, okay, as far as importance goes. And at the very bottom is in our form of government, okay, because our form of government really only consists of the individual, the state, and the federal government. At the bottom is, of course, the federal government. They are supposed to be the least important factor in our form of government. However, they are the largest because they are supposed to be a stable platform, a stable basis with which to allow maximum freedom and liberty for the individual, okay? That is their job. That's their only job, is to allow maximum freedom and liberty for the individual. Period. That's what the federal government was not designed to be. It cannot be said any simpler than that. The federal government's only role is to provide maximum freedom and liberty for the individual. Now, a couple examples of how they can do that are by offering a standing army to protect our borders from outside influences that would seek to restrict our maximum freedom and liberty for the individuals. Another way that the federal government has in the past actually made a good decision was to abolish slavery. Slavery was an instance where you had some individuals restricting the freedoms and liberties of other individuals, and they put a stop to it. That was actually a good thing. That was an area where the federal government needed to step in and help to protect the freedoms and liberties of some people. Okay? That's their job. Okay? But that's it. They're not there to regulate us to death or make rules and laws on every aspect of our lives, okay? They're there to help the individual gain maximum freedom and liberty, period, okay? Government of the people, by the people, for the people. The individual is at the top. They're the most important, always. That is how our government was designed. That is what the founders intended for us. Now, briefly we will talk about what our government has turned into. And basically what our government has turned into is that. That's what our government's turned into. The federal government believes itself to be the end-all, be-all hand of God, basically, that can tell everybody what they can do. It believes the individual is down at the bottom, that we don't know what's good for us. We need the federal government to tell the state or to tell us what to do. That's what our government has turned into. Now, I'm not going to go into a long conversation about that specifically because that's a whole other video. What the federal government has turned into and why and how and what we can do to fix it and all that crap. But this is just kind of to give you guys a good example. So when you think of the federal government, when you have questions about what our federal government is and isn't supposed to be able to do, think of this pyramid, okay? Think of maximum freedom and liberty for the individual. We're at the top. Of the people, by the people, for the people. That is our form of government. The federal government is just there to be a stable base to ensure we have those maximum freedom and liberties. So anyway, That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys watching. Any questions, comments, video responses, I love them all. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys.